Close your eyes for a moment and imagine a life where nothing is missing, a life where money flows naturally to you, where opportunities appear at the perfect time, where peace replaces fear and certainty replaces doubt. Now listen carefully. What if I told you that the abundance you seek is not far away? What if the miracles you have been praying for are already moving toward you at this very moment? You are not here by accident. You were guided to hear this message because a transformation is already beginning within you. The old version of you, the one who struggled, worried, and doubted, is fading away. And a new version is rising, a version that understands its power, a version that no longer chases, but attracts. Today you are going to shift your mindset, your energy, and your expectations. Because everything changes the moment you truly believe that what you desire is already yours. Take a deep breath and repeat silently within yourself, everything is coming to me now. Most people spend their lives hoping, wishing, waiting, and searching for signs that their desires will finally arrive. They wake up every morning checking the outside world for evidence that things are changing. They look at their bank account, their relationships, their circumstances, and their current problems, and then they decide whether they should feel hopeful or discouraged. But the greatest secret of transformation is this: your outer world does not create your inner feeling. Your inner feeling creates your outer world. The moment you understand this truth, your entire life begins to shift. You no longer wait for success before you feel successful. You no longer wait for wealth before you feel abundant. You no longer wait for love before you feel worthy. Instead, you begin assuming internally that your desire is already fulfilled. And when you persist in that assumption, reality slowly begins to mirror the belief you accepted within yourself. This is where most people fail. They continue to identify with what they currently see instead of identifying with what they want to become. They say they desire abundance, but internally they constantly feel lack. They say they want peace, but they continuously live in anxiety. They say they desire a new life, yet emotionally they remain attached to the old story. The outer world can only reflect the dominant state you consistently occupy. To assume the wish fulfilled means to mentally and emotionally move into the reality you desire before physical evidence appears. It means you stop thinking of your dream as something distant and begin treating it as something already accomplished within your consciousness. You begin living from the end instead of living from the problem. Imagine a person who desires financial freedom. Most people would focus on the absence of money. They would constantly worry about bills, complain about their situation, and emotionally react to every obstacle. But the person who understands the power of assumption approaches life differently. Even before wealth appears physically, they begin thinking like someone who is already secure. They stop speaking the language of limitation. They stop affirming struggle. Internally, they begin feeling calm, stable, grateful, and expectant. And slowly, their external reality starts reshaping itself to match that new identity. The feeling of already having received is the secret. Not forced excitement, not pretending, not empty repetition, real inner acceptance. A quiet confidence that says, it is already done. When this feeling becomes natural within you, the subconscious mind accepts it as truth. And whatever the subconscious accepts must eventually express itself in physical form. This is why imagination is so powerful. Your imagination is not merely fantasy. It is the creative force that allows you to experience a future reality internally before it becomes visible externally. When you repeatedly imagine yourself already successful, already loved, already abundant, your mind begins to impress that experience upon your subconscious. Over time, the outer world reorganizes to reflect your inner conviction. You must stop asking when it will happen. The moment you ask when, you place your desire in the future. The moment you worry about how, you create resistance and doubt. Your responsibility is not to figure out every step. Your responsibility is to remain faithful to the feeling of the wish fulfilled. There will be moments when external circumstances appear unchanged. This is where persistence becomes powerful. Do not return to the old state simply because the world has not caught up yet. A seed planted in the ground does not appear overnight, yet growth is still happening beneath the surface. In the same way, your assumption is working even when you cannot yet see evidence of it. Walk through life with the quiet certainty that what you desire already belongs to you. Speak from confidence, not desperation. Think from abundance, not lack. Feel gratitude now, not later. The future you desire is created by the assumptions you consistently entertain today. The moment you truly accept internally that your wish is fulfilled, you stop chasing life, and life begins moving toward you. Reality has no choice but to mirror the state you occupy most consistently. And when you remain faithful to the assumption of abundance, success, love, and peace, eventually the visible world will reflect the invisible transformation that first took place within you. Everything you experience in life first begins within you. Every success, every failure, every opportunity, every limitation, every relationship, and every result is deeply connected to the thoughts, feelings, and assumptions you repeatedly entertain inside your mind. Most people spend years trying to change their outer world without ever realizing that the outer world is only a reflection. The true source of transformation is within. The world around you is like a mirror. A mirror cannot change the person standing before it. It can only reflect what is already there. In the same way, life continuously reflects your dominant inner state. If you constantly feel fearful, life begins to present more situations that confirm fear. If you consistently feel rejected, circumstances will appear that reinforce that feeling. But when you begin feeling worthy, abundant, confident, and secure within yourself, the world slowly begins reflecting those states back to you. This is why changing external circumstances without changing your consciousness rarely creates lasting transformation. A person may temporarily gain money, opportunities, or success, but if internally they still identify with lack and limitation, they often lose what they gained. The outer world always follows the inner world. The visible reality is shaped by the invisible beliefs you consistently accept as true. Most people are unaware of the conversations happening within them every single day. They repeat thoughts like, "Nothing ever works for me," "I'm always struggling," "Life is unfair," or "Success is for other people." Even if these statements are never spoken aloud, they become emotional truths within the subconscious mind. And the subconscious mind faithfully projects those inner assumptions outward into daily life. The subconscious does not judge whether your beliefs are good or bad. It simply accepts what you repeatedly feel to be true. This is why your inner dialogue matters so much. Every thought combined with emotion becomes a seed planted within consciousness. Over time, those seeds grow into physical experiences. If you want to change your life, you must first change the story you continuously tell yourself. Stop identifying with the old version of yourself. Stop replaying memories of failure, disappointment, and fear. Stop emotionally attaching yourself to limitations that no longer serve you. The moment you choose a new inner identity, you begin activating a new outer reality. This transformation does not happen through force. It happens through awareness and persistence. You begin observing your thoughts instead of automatically believing them. When fear appears, you no longer accept it as final truth. When doubt arises, you gently redirect your focus toward the reality you desire. Little by little, your inner world starts changing. Imagine someone who desires a life of abundance, but constantly feels anxious about money. Even if opportunities appear, their dominant emotional state remains rooted in lack. That feeling of lack continues reproducing similar experiences. But the moment they begin internally feeling secure, grateful, and trusting, their energy changes. Their decisions change. Their reactions change. Their expectations change. And eventually, their outer world begins reflecting the shift that first happened inside. The world responds not only to what you say, but to what you deeply believe. People can often speak positive words while internally feeling hopeless. It is the feeling beneath the words that creates reality. Your dominant emotional state acts like a magnet, attracting experiences that match it. This is why protecting your inner peace is so important. Do not allow temporary circumstances to control your state of mind. External situations are always changing, but your inner awareness has the power to remain steady. When you persist in feelings of confidence, abundance, gratitude, and certainty, life gradually reorganizes itself around those assumptions. You must understand that you are not powerless. Your imagination, your beliefs, and your emotions are creative forces shaping your experience every single day. The life you live tomorrow is being formed by the consciousness you entertain today. So begin choosing new thoughts. Begin feeling differently about yourself. See yourself as worthy. See yourself as blessed. See yourself as capable of receiving everything you desire. Do not wait for the world to confirm your value first. The confirmation comes after the inner acceptance. Your outer world is not separate from you. It is responding to you constantly. And the moment your inner world changes, your outer reality must eventually follow. One of the greatest misunderstandings people have about abundance is believing that wealth begins in the physical world first. Most people think they must see money before they can feel secure, successful, or abundant. They wait for external proof before allowing themselves to experience confidence or gratitude. But the truth is exactly the opposite. The feeling must come first. The outer evidence always follows the inner state. If you constantly look at your current circumstances and emotionally react to what is missing, you remain connected to the frequency of lack. Your attention becomes fixed on absence, limitation, and struggle. And whatever you continuously focus on with emotion becomes more deeply impressed upon your subconscious mind. Life then mirrors that inner state back to you again and again. This is why so many people stay trapped in the same cycles for years. They keep waiting for the outside world to change before changing themselves internally. They say, "Once I have more money, I'll finally feel relaxed. Once success comes, I'll feel confident. Once life improves, I'll feel grateful." But abundance does not begin after the manifestation. Abundance begins before it. The person who truly transforms their life learns how to feel wealthy before wealth physically arrives. This does not mean pretending to be something you are not. It means emotionally aligning yourself with the state you desire, instead of emotionally attaching yourself to lack. There is a major difference between acting fake and genuinely cultivating the feeling of already being supported, secure, and blessed. A wealthy state of mind is not simply about money. It is about emotional certainty. It is the calm confidence that says, "I am supported. Opportunities are always available to me. Life is working in my favor." A person living in this state does not constantly panic over temporary setbacks, because internally they already identify with abundance. Think about how a truly secure person moves through life. They are not desperate. They are not constantly fearful. They do not speak from limitation every moment of the day. Their energy reflects confidence and expectation. And this inner condition affects the choices they make, the risks they take, the opportunities they notice, and the people they attract. Your subconscious mind responds more powerfully to feeling than to words alone. You can repeat affirmations all day long, but if your dominant emotional state remains fear and doubt, those affirmations struggle to create change. Feeling is what impresses ideas upon the subconscious. Feeling gives power to thought. This is why gratitude is such a powerful force. Gratitude allows you to emotionally experience abundance before physical evidence fully appears. The moment you begin appreciating life as though your desires are already unfolding, you shift out of scarcity and into receptivity. You stop broadcasting desperation and begin embodying expectation. The outer world always reflects the identity you accept within yourself. If you internally feel poor, unlucky, rejected, or unworthy, life mirrors those assumptions. But if you begin feeling prosperous, capable, loved, and secure, reality gradually begins reshaping itself around that new state. Opportunities appear differently. Relationships improve. Ideas flow more naturally. Solutions become visible. This transformation often happens quietly at first. You may not immediately see dramatic changes in your environment, but something within you begins to stabilize. Fear loses its grip. Anxiety begins fading. You stop obsessing over what is missing and start expecting things to work out in your favor. And that shift in consciousness changes everything. You must stop measuring your future by your present circumstances. Current conditions are only temporary reflections of past assumptions. Your new reality begins the moment your inner state changes. The person who masters abundance understands that the emotional experience of wealth must become natural before physical wealth fully arrives. So begin today. Carry yourself differently. Speak differently. Think differently. Stop repeating stories of struggle. Stop identifying with limitation. Begin asking yourself, how would I feel if my desires were already fulfilled? Then practice living from that feeling daily. Feel peace before the money arrives. Feel gratitude before the breakthrough appears. Feel abundance before the evidence becomes visible. Because the moment you emotionally accept abundance within yourself, the outer world begins moving to reflect the state you have chosen. And eventually, what once existed only in imagination becomes part of your physical reality. Most people spend their entire lives waiting for success to arrive, waiting for opportunities to appear, waiting for the perfect moment to finally feel happy, confident, secure, or fulfilled. They believe life exists somewhere in the future, just beyond their current circumstances. But the truth is, transformation does not begin when conditions change. Transformation begins the moment your identity changes. The version of you that continues waiting is the same version that remains emotionally attached to lack. Waiting silently reinforces the belief that what you desire is distant from you. It keeps your dreams in the future instead of allowing them to become real within your consciousness now. And as long as you continue identifying as someone who is trying to get there, reality continues reflecting that same experience back to you. The secret is not to wait for abundance. The secret is to become the person who already experiences abundance internally. Everything changes when you stop living as someone who hopes and begin living as someone who knows. Your outer world always follows your inner identity. Think about it carefully. A confident person and an insecure person can walk into the exact same opportunity and experience completely different outcomes. Why? Because identity shapes perception, behavior, energy, and expectation. The person who already sees themselves as capable naturally moves through life differently. They make different decisions. They speak differently. They respond differently to challenges. Their internal state changes the entire experience of life. This is why becoming is more important than chasing. Most people chase goals while secretly believing they are not enough. They pursue wealth while internally feeling poor. They seek love while internally feeling unworthy. They desire success while emotionally identifying with failure. The outer effort becomes exhausting because the inner identity remains unchanged. But when your self-concept changes, life begins responding differently to you. Instead of forcing outcomes, you naturally align with them. Opportunities begin appearing because your consciousness is no longer resisting them. You stop operating from desperation and start operating from certainty. To become the person who already has it means you mentally step into the version of yourself who already lives the reality you desire. If you desire abundance, begin thinking from abundance now. If you desire confidence, begin carrying yourself with confidence now. If you desire peace, stop feeding the thoughts that keep you in conflict. Your future is created by the identity you consistently embody today. This does not mean ignoring reality or pretending problems do not exist. It means refusing to let temporary circumstances define your permanent identity. Your current conditions are not your final story. They are only reflections of old assumptions. The moment you adopt a new state of consciousness, a new reality begins forming. Most people underestimate the power of small internal shifts. A single new assumption repeated consistently can completely transform a life. When you stop saying, "Nothing works for me," and begin affirming, "Everything is aligning in my favor," your emotional state changes. When you stop identifying as unlucky and begin identifying as blessed, your expectations change. And expectations influence what you notice, what you pursue, and what you attract. The person you become internally determines the life you experience externally. This is why persistence matters. You cannot temporarily think positively and expect lasting change while emotionally returning to the old version of yourself every day. Real transformation happens when the new identity begins feeling natural. You must stop asking for permission from the outer world before allowing yourself to become powerful within. Stop waiting for evidence before believing in your future. Stop waiting for people to validate your worth. Stop waiting for life to improve before deciding to feel grateful. The reality you desire begins the moment you claim it internally. Walk through life as the version of yourself you wish to become. Speak from confidence instead of fear. Make decisions from faith instead of doubt. Carry the energy of someone whose life is already unfolding perfectly. Because the moment you truly become the person who already has it within consciousness, reality begins moving to reflect that transformation outwardly. Life cannot continue mirroring the old version of you once you no longer identify with it. Stop waiting for your future to arrive. Become it now. And watch how quickly the world begins responding to the new you. There is a powerful moment that changes everything in a person's life. It is not the moment money appears in the bank account. It is not the moment success becomes visible. It is not even the moment opportunities arrive. The real transformation happens much earlier, the moment you truly believe. Because belief is the force that shifts your inner world, and once the inner world changes, the outer world cannot remain the same. Most people live in doubt without realizing it. They may speak positive words during the day, but deep within, they still expect disappointment. They still anticipate struggle. They still emotionally prepare for failure. And because the subconscious mind responds to dominant belief rather than temporary words, life continues reflecting those hidden expectations back to them. True belief is different from wishful thinking. Wishful thinking says, "I hope things work out." Belief says, "It is already unfolding for me." Wishful thinking feels uncertain and fragile. Belief feels calm, grounded, and steady. When you genuinely believe something is possible, not just intellectually, but emotionally, your entire energy changes. The moment belief becomes real within you, your mind begins operating differently. Fear loses its control, doubt weakens. You stop obsessing over obstacles because your attention becomes fixed on the outcome instead of the problem. You begin moving through life with expectation instead of hesitation. And that internal shift starts influencing everything around you. People often underestimate how powerful belief truly is. Every achievement, every invention, every breakthrough, and every transformation in human history began with someone believing in something before physical evidence existed. The visible world always begins as an invisible assumption held within consciousness. Your subconscious mind constantly works to make your dominant beliefs feel real. If you believe life is difficult, your mind notices more evidence of difficulty. If you believe opportunities are rare, you unconsciously overlook possibilities surrounding you. But when you begin believing that life supports you, your perception changes. You start seeing doors that were always there. You begin attracting people, ideas, and situations that align with your new assumption. This is why belief is not passive, it is creative. It shapes perception, behavior, emotional energy, and decision making. A person who truly believes success is possible behaves differently from someone who secretly expects failure. One approaches life with openness and confidence, while the other hesitates and doubts. Their inner assumptions create completely different experiences. The most powerful kind of belief is belief maintained despite appearances. Anyone can feel hopeful when everything is going well, but real transformation happens when you continue believing even while circumstances still appear unchanged. This is the moment where most people give up. They look at temporary conditions and decide nothing is happening. They return to fear, worry, and frustration, unknowingly recreating the same old reality. But the person who persists in belief understands something deeper. They understand that reality takes time to rearrange itself. Just because something is not visible yet does not mean movement is not happening behind the scenes. Seeds grow in darkness before they appear above the surface. In the same way, your assumptions are shaping unseen changes long before physical evidence appears. You must protect your belief from external negativity. The world will often try to convince you to doubt yourself. Circumstances may challenge your faith. People may question your vision. But if you continue returning internally to the feeling that your desire is already unfolding, your subconscious mind remains impressed with that truth. Belief becomes powerful when it feels natural, not forced, not desperate, natural. You no longer constantly wonder if it will happen because internally you already accept it as done. And from that state of inner certainty, your actions, reactions, and expectations begin aligning with the reality you desire. Everything in life responds to consciousness. The moment you truly believe you are worthy of abundance, you stop settling for limitation. The moment you believe opportunities are available to you, you begin noticing them everywhere. The moment you believe your future can change, your entire relationship with life transforms. So stop feeding doubt. Stop rehearsing failure within your mind. Stop identifying with old fears and limitations. Begin strengthening the belief that your desires are already moving toward you. Hold that belief consistently, calmly, and faithfully. Because the moment you truly believe, something begins shifting beneath the surface. Life starts rearranging itself. Opportunities begin forming. Doors begin opening. People begin appearing. And eventually, what once existed only as belief within you becomes visible reality around you. From this day forward, stop speaking like someone who is waiting for life to change. Speak like someone who already knows blessings are arriving. Walk with confidence. Think with certainty. Feel gratitude before the evidence appears. Because the moment you assume abundance is yours, Life begins organizing itself around that belief. Never forget this. The doors you prayed for are opening. The wealth you imagined is approaching. The peace you desired is finding you. And the miracles you once thought were impossible are becoming part of your reality. Do not return to the old mindset after hearing this message. Persist in the feeling that your new life has already begun. Hold the vision. Protect the assumption. Live from the end. And soon, one day, you will look around at your life and realize everything arrived exactly as you imagined. Everything is coming to you now. Thank you for spending these moments here together. If this message spoke to your heart, take a moment to like this video, subscribe, and share it with someone who needs this reminder today. And before you leave, comment these words below. Everything is coming to me now. Speak it, feel it, believe it. Your new reality begins with the assumptions you choose today. Stay aligned, stay grateful, and remember, the life you desire is already seeking you.